Welcome back. I'm Johnny Freeborn, your host of Central Valley Talk Business. And up next, I have David Rowe.
It's Drow, actually.
Drow,
Yes.
so sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you're with Bat Buds Direct House of Wax.
It's Bat Buds Collective and House of Wax, which are actually two established cannabis medical marijuana delivery services here in the Central Valley.
I see.
So we've been in business for almost 5 years, delivering to medical patients throughout in the Fresno Clovis area. Currently have about 4,000 patients that we work with in the Fresno Clovis area. Yeah,
that's a lot of people.
Yeah. It's surprising to a lot of people that there are that many people. First off, that do use cannabis for medicinal purposes. There are, I believe, somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 delivery services in Fresno and Clovis. So it is when we started, there were only two.
Wow.
But it has grown. It's a lucrative business, obviously. In the past couple of years, it's all been done as nonprofits. But as of January 1 of 2016, Governor Brown signed into law a couple of laws that then actually legitimized it as a business and allowed for-profit activities. And we're just kind of slodging our way through all of the bureaucracy and trying to find out how to run the businesses as legitimate as possible.
I see. Now, for anyone who hasn't been paying attention to our politics here in California, we just passed Prop 64. Mm-hmm. And how does that affect your business?
It's what it does is it's increased our call volume a little bit, but it's created a unique scenario. Prop 64, which also came under the name of ALMA, Adult Use of Marijuana Act, is a recreational component. So medicinal marijuana has been available in California for over 20 years, legally.
And we were the first
to do that.
Right.
We were a little bit late to the party, so to speak, on the recreational side. And the way that the law was actually, the proposition was drafted is that it is now legal for adults, people over the age of 21, not 18, but over the age of 21, to possess, consume, and purchase marijuana and marijuana products.
Now, medicinally, it's 18 if you have a doctor's
18 if you have the doctor's note. And actually, it isn't even that. It's 18 as an individual, but as a caretaker. So even people under the age of 18, if they have an adult caretaker and the doctor's recommendation, because we have patients that are children that suffer from seizures and many other ailments, and they use products that are very heavy in CBD, which is cannabidiol, not THC, which is the psychoactive portion of marijuana, the part.
So the kids aren't getting high; they're just treating their ailments,
right,
whether it be seizures or things like that, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So right now, kind of top of everybody's mind is the AUMA, the recreational, because the California medical marijuana market is larger than the medical marijuana of all the other states combined that have medical marijuana. Mm-hmm. The same as with the recreational portion. It's a huge market.
Wow. Now, do you expect business to thrive, or do you expect this new law to kind of put a damper on things for you guys?
It's going to create some unique regulatory challenges because for us to be able to sell to a recreational customer, mm-hmm, you have to have a license in the state of California, and the state bureaucracy is not in place. So they will not begin to issue those licenses until January of 2018. So whereas people passed it and thought, well, tomorrow I'm going to be able to go out and buy a joint and enjoy myself out in the backyard with my family, unfortunately, that's just not the case. It's now, one of the things that it did is it pretty much decriminalized almost all cannabis-related activities and businesses.
Now, how does getting rid of or repealing the prohibition, how does that help us, or does it?
Well, it does in a lot of ways. I mean, what happens is the law enforcement right now, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people in the cannabis industry that are really anti-law enforcement because it's a lot of people have been locked up for cannabis-related crimes, and that's a little bit hard to take sometimes. But at the same time, law enforcement is faced with enforcing the laws as they are on the books, and the problem doesn't rest with law enforcement; it rests with our legislature and the politicians. We still have a situation, and regardless of how we have made it legal in the state of California federally, it's still considered a Schedule I controlled substance. They treat it the same as they do heroin federally.
Wow.
And so they say that it has no...
Which is laughable for anyone who's ever tried it. It seems...
it is.
That's a little harsh.
It's beyond silly, but one of the challenges is our politicians, and I hate to say it, many of them are bought and paid for by the pharmaceutical industry, whether it be... but it's all the lobbyists. And so the big lobbies that are out against marijuana in the country are the pharmaceutical industry, private prisons, because they have a lot of people locked up, and that is really their commodity is prisoners. And so they want to lock people up. Law enforcement's out against it, and I think it's twofold. They get money to combat it, and that money is necessary for them to operate. And there's another side to the law enforcement piece. I mean, I've had occasion to talk to many people in law enforcement, and I certainly understand their dilemma. A marijuana arrest sometimes are a tool for them because they have a thing in science. They talk about causation versus correlation. And you'll hear some of the politicians and the higher-ups in law enforcement say, well, there's a lot of crime that surrounds these cannabis businesses. But the truth be told is it's a correlative effect. It's not causation. The cannabis business isn't causing the crime. It just so happens that these criminals have involved themselves in the enterprise because it's profitable and because it's been driven underground.
Wow.
The more legitimate that it is, the less crime there is involved with it. And so
that's kind of like Prohibition back in the day when it pushed all the alcohol to the mob.
To the speakeasies and the mobs, and then they were saying, wow, alcohol is really crime related. Well, I don't think you can say that regarding, Budweiser and Coors, and and these are, businesses that contribute quite a bit.
And the modern day parallel of that is the drug cartels now profiting, like the mobs did of yesteryear.
Correct. And so now we have a situation in, it's kind of funny if you read some of the articles, like in Mexico, for instance, we had a big problem with them shipping drugs and marijuana into the country. And now that it's legal here, we actually have an illegal black market export business. They're exporting California weed down into Mexico because it's better quality and it's a better product, and now Mexico's in the process of legalizing marijuana. So,
wow,
California,
things could really change. Things could really,
and California has by far the best, marijuana in the world. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So we know some of the medicinal benefits. Are there recreational benefits to what it does to the mind? We've heard all the propaganda of what, the negative stuff. Are there positive?
I would say that, I mean, the thing is, it's, and we talked a little bit off camera, but that is, I use the analogy of the glass of wine, where they say you have a glass of wine and it's good for your heart and things like that. All of the medicinal benefits of it continue no matter what your purpose was for taking it. In other words, you still derive that positive. One of the things I would tell you is that, we live in a very fast-paced society. There's a lot of stresses, a lot of people have anxieties, they have difficulty sleeping, they have difficulty coping. Marijuana is treatment for bipolar disorders, it's treatment for stress, it's treatment for insomnia, and appetite loss, many other things. From an enjoyment standpoint, nobody, taking any type of mind-altering substance, somebody would argue that it's unnecessary and probably should never occur. There's also those that would differ from you. I think sometimes people need a break, and they need to relax, and they need to do those things. It's
Is that kind of like a way of taking a vacation wherever you're at?
Yeah,
Just in your mind, you can set up.
It's the same thing. There is excesses with everything, and so the person that's going to sit down and smoke a quarter of an ounce of marijuana and go to a comatose state, everybody can make an argument that that's not good.
But in moderation.
But at the same time, if you're going to go home at the end of a long day and have a glass of wine, with your spouse and relax and enjoy your day and take a load off so that you can function better the following day, then I'm all about that and all for it. And I also tend to be a little bit of a libertarian. I believe that, you know, personal choice and freedom is a huge part of being an American. And I've long said, you know, they should make laws to protect me from you, but don't make laws to protect me from me. I'll take care of that.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, how can people get a hold of you if they do have a prescription or? Yeah,
we have, like I said, we have 2 collectives. I'm going to look down at my phone because I'm really bad with numbers, but at 559 is the area code and 244-9805. And then 559-312-0230. And that will reach our company. We have drivers on site, and they deliver from 9 in the morning till 9 in the evening, 7 days a week. And we've been doing that for 5 years straight.
And do you guys have web presence? Or
we do. We're primarily on Weed Maps is one of the locators that everybody uses here in town, and you'll find us under Bat Buds and also under House of Wax. The differentiation between those two is the Bat Buds dispensary is primarily focused on the flower, the actual different strains, and you know, that's a segment in and of itself, talking about the different impact and what each different type of flower does and how they act differently. And then our House of Wax business is really concentrates, and that is stuff that's used for vaping, it's edibles, it's tinctures, topicals. It's pretty amazing the wide breadth of product that's available out there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's so much I want to ask you, but I hope you can come back again on the show.
Anytime.
We've kind of gone over time, but it's been great talking to you, David.
Anytime.
And it's David Drow.
Yes, sir.
Correct. All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Thanks.